Welcome back to the channel. This your boy Rich Latta here, back with another video. Indiana Fever fans, we have great news. Kelsey Mitchell has re-signed with the Indiana Fever despite the will of many to try to break this team up before it happens, despite people like Candace Parker who were making these predictions, despite people like Cheryl Swoop saying Kelsey Mitchell was not getting her just due in an attempt to sow discord, if you will. It didn't work. The front office has, reached terms with Kelsey Mitchell, who, of course, they did not disclose those terms or anything, but it's pretty safe to assume that this is a one-year deal, just like everything else, because everyone's going to be a free agent after next season. Obviously, the pay structure is going to change a little bit. So if you were somebody that was actually worried about Kelsey Mitchell not being on the team, have no fear. Your fears have been assured, let's just say that. But very happy to see Kelsey Mitchell still wearing the Fever colors, because I think she is a huge part of the best backcourt in the league. Between her and Caitlin Clark, I don't think the league really has a great answer long term for those two. I know it ended rough in the last game against Connecticut, where Kelsey kind of played outside herself, but I maintain that her play style is a positive. There's somebody that can get her own shot that's not Caitlin, that's inside this perfect system. There has to be somebody that can break out of that and cause chaos for the defense. Somebody you can't prepare for. Kelsey Mitchell is a threat from the three-point line. She's a threat on the drive. She's a threat around the rim and in the open court. So I couldn't be happier to see her coming back. So let's take a look at the news story here. Basically, they said they've agreed to contract terms, cementing the return of the veteran all-star. It will be her 8th season, all with the Fever. Kelsey has been a foundation of our franchise for many years, and we are thrilled to see her return to the Fever, said President of Basketball Operations Kelly Kroskoff, who drafted Mitchell in 2018. So, she knows the vision. We value Kelsey's commitment to our organization, and we're excited to see her build off a phenomenal 2024, her best season yet. She's one of the best guards in the league and is a cornerstone to building a championship roster. So if Kelsey Mitchell is being overlooked so much, if she's being, just someone that's just not getting any kind of accolade, I don't think you would get a statement from the organization like that. Of course, Kelsey Mitchell was the number 2 pick in, I want to say, 2018, as they just mentioned. She averaged a career high last year, 19.2 a game, 2.5 rebounds, 1 assist. We're not really here for that with Kelsey. Kelsey's a scorer. Stephanie White was saying, I'm thrilled that Kelsey's returned to the Fever. She's been an integral part of this franchise from the moment she was drafted, says Stephanie White. I've watched her journey from the sidelines since her time in college and have always admired her work ethic, approach to the game, and the way she interacts with her teammates. I can't wait to work with her on a daily basis. So she has been a bastion of durability as well, only missing 5 games out of 240 since 2018. She's number 2 all time in Fever scoring. She was essential to helping this team maximize what it was going to be going forward. She's a perfect partner for Caitlin Clark, and she already has faced the pressure cooker environment that Indiana is going to be. Everyone's looking at Indiana to take the next step. They were the surprise of the league, I would say, last year. After the first, quarter of the season, she just became a lightning rod scorer. After the All-Star break, she was incredible. Several 25-plus point games, scoring 30 at times, and just being an overall deviant to the defenses. So I'm very happy that, the people that did not want her to stay did not win. And I'm very happy that, and at least we get to run it for one more year with CMB, Clark, Mitchell, Boston. We all we got, just like New Jack City. Very, very happy there. In another piece of news, Caitlin Clark is disinclined to participate in the NBA's three-point shootout weekend. Now, there have been long talks, and we've talked about it on this channel, about Caitlin and Sabrina against Steph and Clay. I think we all kind of wrote that in very early. Of course, there are a lot of negotiations, to take place. Caitlin seems to be very particular with how she spends her off season. Of course, she declined Unrivaled. And now bringing it back to this, I think it was just kind of assumed by the NBA because, she didn't do the WNBA three-point shootout last year, that she was saving it for the bigger moment, essentially. But I was reading the story, and some of this stuff does not pass the smell test for me. Now, when I say it doesn't pass the smell test, I don't think anyone's lying here. However, I think there's something that is jumping off the screen that I think people are overlooking as the real reason that Caitlin Clark may be disinclined to compete. And looking at it, I don't blame her, because if it was me and I was the star that Caitlin Clark was, and let's go through the story. So Caitlin Clark has told the NBA she's disinclined to participate in an all-star game. Three-point contest next month that could include Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Sabrina Ionescu, sources told Sports Business Journal, although indications are the league is still in discussions with Clark's representatives. Now, the sources said that Clark is not interested in shooting three-point balls off a rack. Please. Considering her practice regimen consists of only catch and shoot threes or shots off the dribble, and she is persuaded otherwise, she will decline the invitation. Now, this next part is the part I think made my antennas go up. That decision would be somewhat of a blow to the league, which had contemplated moving what they temporarily call Steph versus Sabrina 2.0 to the Sunday night of All-Star Weekend to be staged in between the second semifinal and championship game of the first ever All-Star tournament in San Francisco. The league has spent the past year trying to spruce up the Sunday portion of the All-Star game, eventually drawing up the 4-team tournament that included 3 teams of 8 NBA All-Stars plus the Rising Stars winner. The idea of adding Clark to the mix became a peripheral priority. According to sources, the league reached out to the Fever Guard through her close associates and agents, and the possibility still exists that she could accept their three-point shooting invitation. One scenario would have an NBA player such as Curry conceivably reciprocating and doing a similar male versus female shootout at the WNBA All-Star Game next summer. I wouldn't say it's over until the thing happens, a source said of Clark's decision. A lot of this stuff comes together very, very late. I don't believe the rack thing as far as I can throw it. That's a convenient thing to throw out there that allows people to basically just jump up and say, it's her practice regimen, blah, blah, blah. This is a pro athlete. I'm sure she can adjust in a heartbeat. The part that I obviously had reservations about, how do you expect to have Caitlin Clark appear in an event where you don't give her top billing or at least co-billing? Because that seems a little backwards. If the NBA is like, well, we did it with Sabrina, we trademarked it last year, we still want to go forward with this, that would be insane, and I would hope Caitlin Clark would hang up on them. Now, if they were able to change the event, and say, hey, we're going to rename it, we're going to roll it out as, kind of like, I'm not taking a backseat to Sabrina Ionescu. Like, it's not happening. Like, Caitlin already washed her in year 1. Yeah, she won the title, blah, blah, blah. We know, let's use our brains here. But Caitlin, being somebody that wants to advance women's sports, wants to take a look at the looks that are around everything, I could easily say her saying, well, I need some type of guarantee that we're going to build up the WNBA All-Star Weekend, because the Indiana one is going to be all about her. Now, what would it show about the star power of Caitlin Clark if she could basically negotiate Steph coming in for the WNBA one? I think that would be massive. So I think they can fix this rather easily. I don't think the rack is really a concern at all. Like I said, this is a pro. She will figure it out. We're there for the show anyway. So you got to come correct financially. You got to come with something beneficial, I think, for Caitlin and the WNBA. Because really, who's got the juice here? I think Caitlin does. She doesn't necessarily need to do this. It would be cool. you know, and it would be dope for, you know, the Splash Brothers and Sabrina and Caitlyn and all that. But if you're Caitlyn, you're not taking a back seat at the gate or at the marquee to anyone really at this point. And I know Steph's in Oakland. This is probably his last All-Star game in front of his fans, and it's gonna be about him. But Caitlin Clark's gonna get something out of that too. Like she's not moving off the square to sit behind Sabrina. As the last source said, this stuff comes together late. Nothing's been decided so far. Just from what I'm thinking, I would probably expect the event to be renamed. I would expect Caitlyn to probably end up shooting, and I would expect Steph to end up showing up in the summer. It's a great look for him too. Anyway, my name is Rich. I'm up out of here. What do you think about Kelsey Mitchell coming back? Is this just year one of a long-term thing, or is this a last hurrah for her? What do you make of the three-point shootout news? Do you think Caitlyn's, you know, kind of pulling the, you know, the big dog card to really get what she wants, or do you think this is legit that she's like, I really don't care? Let me know. I'll holla at y'all. Peace.